Yeah. Hey, we're recording. Welcome to Santa Claus Cinema. I am Tim Wild, and with me is Josh and Ashley here for our special top 7 Christmas movies that we're going to get into, which could lead to a little deliberation, helping Josh come to peace with his final selections, and also having some contention.
So this has been the most stressful list I've ever done, and I'm not quite sure why. I really had a hard time narrowing it down to 7. I feel like I had a good top, and then I'm still working it out in my head. I'm not quite sure. I got a list of like 57 movies here. So
right. See, I had a lot of issues with my list, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we're excited about this, and we are going to launch this. We announced this episode. This is the week of Thanksgiving. It's Monday night. Thanksgiving is, of course, on Thursday. And we just wanted to get this out so people can talk about it if they need ideas for their Christmas movie selections for the coming month. I'm also going to want to mention kind of the things that we watch around Thanksgiving time. That'll be part of our personal study today. But this is chapter 102 of Saints on Cinema. And before we get into our list, which Ashley is going to be so gracious to start because I want to.
Yeah, you were starting.
What?
You were starting.
I was struggling?
You're starting.
Starting.
Oh, I'm starting. Ashley needs another minute. I'm ready. I stressed about this 3 days ago, and Josh is still trying to put together his actual final ranking. But we're excited about that. But before we get into our list, starting with me, apparently, we wanted to just talk a little bit about what we watch around the Thanksgiving time, because there's not a whole lot of Thanksgiving movies, although I have one favorite of mine. And a lot of people I know watch Christmas movies. Usually families I know that do that. They have a little tradition of watching a certain Christmas movie on Thanksgiving night. So I just want to ask what you guys watch on Thanksgiving, if your family has traditions or anything. These movies don't necessarily have to do anything with our list, so this isn't any kind of a spoiler or anything. But what about you guys? Before I say my one ultimate Thanksgiving movie, what do you guys watch on Thanksgiving? Or do you guys have any traditions like that?
So a few years ago, a docudrama came out, this one, on Handel's Messiah. And I watched it on Thanksgiving, and it's seriously so good. So I want to have that be my tradition because it's actually really, really awesome.
Is that the one that shows him like as a little boy, like learning the piano and stuff like that, and talk about it as like, or am I thinking of something else? I might be thinking of.
This is just a docudrama, so a documentary with some drama acting throughout it about Handel's, like how he came about to creating Handel's Messiah, because like it really was like inspired by God. Like there was no way he could have written what he did. And then not only that though, but the proceeds of it actually brought people out of jail who were there for like, poverty and things like that. I mean, it's just like, so all the funds and things like that were very Christ-like what it went towards. And it's really good. And so Jane Seymour narrates it. And I just loved it. It was really, really good. So
I may have seen parts of that before on TV a few years ago.
Yeah, it was brand new. I want to say like 4 years ago, maybe longer than that. I can't remember. But
does it show him as a kid? It shows him like he finds like a piano or something. I don't remember. He like starts teaching himself, and his dad wasn't supportive of learning about music.
I feel that you made that up, Tim. I don't think that's a real thing.
Well, there's that movie about Beethoven from like the 90s.
I'm thinking of like Immortal Beloved. So you watched that around Thanksgiving to kick off your December? Is that what you do?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, great.
I love the Messiah. I can't stand listening to it, but I love singing in it. I've sung in it 3 times. I did in my childhood, not my childhood, but in high school years. And I loved it.
Great. Spiritual, and I don't really have a Thanksgiving movie that I watch like as a tradition, but a Thanksgiving movie I really do enjoy. A Thanksgiving movie I really enjoy is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I think it's a fun one. And so it usually comes on TV on Thanksgiving, and I watch it when it comes on TV. And then my number one on my list, which I will share later, It is the first Christmas movie I watch every year, and I do not watch Christmas movies until Thanksgiving. So I usually watch it on Thanksgiving or the day after.
It's Rocky IV, isn't it?
No, no. Because Rocky IV is not a Christmas movie. I'm just saying that. So,
I would agree with that because there's
Yeah.
barely any snow in the movie. Anyway, my favorite Thanksgiving movie is, everyone always forgets about this, Dutch. Did you guys watch Dutch?
oh,
With
that's
Ed
a good
O'Neill?
one. Yeah,
Fantastic Thanksgiving movie.
that's right. That is a good one. That's another good one to watch. Yeah, yeah.
And it's totally even about Thanksgiving. It's about family, and it's about this punk preppy kid that's going to like some military school or private school, and his rich dad doesn't pay attention to him, but he hates his mom who loves him to death. And so Ed O'Neill, the new boyfriend, goes out and brings him home for the holidays, and it's just a really touching and hilarious story. Ashley, you definitely need to put that on your list and watch it this week.
It's a pretty funny one. If you like Ed O'Neill, I mean, it's good stuff. Yeah,
It's him at his finest. Yeah, it's like him it's Al Bundy in an upper class, but he's not. He's the same guy. With money, a lot of heart. It's a really good movie. Anyway, so anyone that's forgotten about that, the other one I always forget about is Grumpy Old Men. I swear I never remember, and I never look it up. I swear Grumpy Old Men is a Thanksgiving movie because we're getting ready for the dinner, but it might be a Christmas dinner. When the climax of that movie happens.
I don't remember.
I always watch that in December.
I don't think the movie. I don't necessarily consider that either. I don't think it's integral to the story that it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. At least it's not memorable in that way. Dutch is memorable as a Thanksgiving movie, and so is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So,
so you win, is what you're saying?
Huh? No, I'm saying both of our movies that we watch, they're integral. Thanksgiving is an integral part of the movie. It's not like that, I don't think, in Grumpy Old Men, at least not memorably. No,
because it's so not memorable. I can't remember which holiday it is.
Right. But that's a great movie. I really like Grumpy Old Men. I just don't remember like it being around either holiday. So. And
I always forget. Wasn't Rocky I Thanksgiving? Because you had to correct me on that last time we talked about.
Yeah. It goes through Thanksgiving, sure, but.
There you go. It's totally a Thanksgiving movie because there's a turkey in one scene that gets thrown out. All right, let's talk about our list. So here's the thing. And now there was already some contention among the three of us that we tried to keep all of this conversation to go on air. And Josh was sure, just absolutely certain that I was going to pick Die Hard as one of mine because I am a huge advocate for Die Hard being a Christmas movie.
Wrong.
Because it is. And we don't need to get into that from my list because this is what I decided, because I, like Josh, had a lot of things I couldn't decide on. I decided for my list, anything that was going to make the cut had to be something that I really only watched during the holidays. If it's a movie that I love it as a Christmas movie, if I feel it's more or it's just as relevant outside of the holidays, it doesn't necessarily have that holiday spirit vibe to it, even though Die Hard does, I didn't put it on my list. So I kept these selective to December holiday movies, not like some other ones. I thought I had some other options here. No. Anyway, so two of them that are not on my list are Die Hard and Babes in Toyland. I know Josh really thought I was going to have those on there. Babes in Toyland has nothing to do with Christmas. It's just because they haven't, for like one song, one musical number, they're making toys, and it's all about the deadline for Christmas. It has nothing to do with the rest of the plot. It's a beautiful love story about Annette Funicello, whom I adore, by the way. Anyway, so my number 7, got to get the right list out here. Miracle on 34th Street, which started farther up on my list. The original, I had to be sure to say that, is the original, the one with Natalie Wood and what's her name? What is it?
Maureen O'Hara.
Maureen O'Hara from Parent Trap and McClintock, all those wonderful movies I love. She is just gorgeous, wonderful woman. Natalie Wood was a fantastic actress, and the Santa Claus in that is hilarious. But I thought about it. The reason it's not higher up on my list is because it's a fun movie with some good moments, and the guy that plays the neighbor, I can't remember his name, Mr. Dudley, whoever the actor is. Do you know, Ashley? You know everything about these classics?
No. Okay. I can't remember his name.
Mr. Dudley, I think is his name. All that scene, that build up for the moment in the courtroom, that is the beautiful part of the movie, and that's the part where all the heart, all the story arcs from the other characters, the janitor Santa Claus is supportive, his relationship with O'Hara, I can't remember her name in the movie, Natalie Wood being convinced of not the miracle, but him being Santa Claus, which happens right after. The political stuff, all the stuff about Macy's, all that stuff like builds up for a beautiful, awesome climax with the U.S. Postal Service. Let's not leave them out. Fantastic scene, great imagery and everything. And I love that. But really, aside that main climax in the third act, it kind of drags you trying to get through it. A lot of happy moments and everything, but it doesn't, give me all that joy that I look for in other things. So that's why it's so low. But it took a lot of things to pull it down the list. But it's definitely on there. The original, no remakes, and no colorized version. That movie is black and white. Next one, and you guys may not even know what this is. The Muppet Family Christmas, not the Christmas Carol.
Not the Christmas Carol. Okay.
The Muppet Family Christmas is the one years ago. I won't spend too much time on this. Everyone should go out and research it and look it up. You can't find it on DVD because they can't. It's hard for them to get the rights to put this out. But this is the story where, long story short, the Muppets are going to Fozzie's mother's house to spend their Christmas there. She has this house out in the wilderness, in the woods. And they want to go spend time with Fozzie's mother. As soon as they get there, they realize that Fozzie's mother is on her way out the door because she's going to spend her time in the tropics somewhere, spending a holiday somewhere else. And meanwhile, she rented her house out to Doc and Sprocket from Fraggle Rock, who are there when the Muppets show up. And then they go down in the basement later in the story, and Robin and Kermit find a Fraggle hole, and they go into Fraggle Rock. And then all of a sudden, here come the Sesame Street gang, Christmas caroling, and then you end up in the big climax of the movie is all of the Jim Henson characters singing Christmas carols at the end. Fantastic storylines of the Swedish chef trying to carve up Big Bird for the dinner and everything. It's fantastic. A lot of great music, a lot of great Muppet moments. And my favorite thing about the Muppets is the domesticated, them living together in a real life, in a real world situation. And this just really brings home the holiday spirit with some delightful, loving characters. It's great. And I always get emotional at the very end. It's not a spoiler. There's a moment where they're all singing in the living room, and then it cuts to the kitchen where you have Jim Henson sitting there with Sprocket from Fraggle Rock. And he's just looking out the window or looking out the door, just watching his characters sing and dance or sing. And then he goes, it just really warms my heart seeing them happy. And then he says, Sprocket, let's get these dishes done. And he turns around. It's just so touching because that's his creation and just all of them in one place. It's beautiful and heartwarming, and everyone should go watch Muppet Family Christmas. There's a lot of Muppet Christmas movies. That's the best one.
Interesting.
That's that best one. Anyway, number 5, One Magic Christmas. I think I talked about this when we talked about our top favorite Disney movies on Disney Plus. Do you guys know what this movie is? One Magic Christmas?
No idea.
My favorite, the Santa Claus in it is amazing.
It's a fantastic Santa Claus and a fantastic angel. And not many people have seen this movie. It's a little dated. It feels dated when you watch it. It's slow paced when you watch it, but I hadn't seen it since I was younger. It's hard to find on DVD, and then Disney Plus comes out and bam, there it is. And last year when it came out, that was one of the first things I watched. Within that first week, I watched One Magic Christmas to see if it still held up, and I was bawling by the end. And it is such a beautiful story. I'm not going to give anything away, but everyone should go watch this movie this Christmas. My favorite thing about it, you have an angel there's an angel character, a guardian angel, with that kind of a spiritual flavor mixed with the Christmas magic flavor, mixed with the domestic struggling family and just some tragedies in the story. Then things come together, the spirit of Christmas stuff that you get from other Christmas movies. This has a touch of everything all together in one amazing story. That's it's a little dry trying to sit through it, but the Santa Claus and other things in it are just so perfect, and it makes me cry every time.
The little girl actress is phenomenal.
The kids are great. Are great, and it's starring I can't remember her name, the lady that plays the teacher in Back to the Future 3, whatever her name is. She's the main character. Such a great job. It feels real.
She's also the wife in Elf, Mary something.
Yes. Yeah. Another great classic.
And wasn't she also in Multiplicity? The movie with
No, she wasn't the wife. That's the woman from Groundhog Day.
Are you sure?
Yep, 100%. Because I had a huge crush on her. Because I had a crush on everyone, so I know which crushes were in which movies.
All right.
All right, number 4, Home Alone. As I thought about my number 4 or my top 4, I was like, okay, how do I rank these last few? And I had to decide if it was Christmas Eve and I hadn't watched many Christmas movies and I had like my 7 on this list and I only had a couple days to watch them, which ones could I get away with not watching and still feel like I had a good Christmas Eve? Or which ones were like, no, I have to watch this for it to be the Christmas season. And Christmas or Home Alone is just borderline where I can almost watch that outside of the holiday season is just as good. But the reason it's number 4 and that high up in these movies is because I think collectively you have the best music, the best, most iconic Christmas music from Bing Crosby to all the modern stuff to the Carol of the Bells and the montage at the end. Like everything just builds up musically for all of the emotions that you feel, the funny moments and the emotional sting. Chris Columbus as the director, fantastic. Who did the score? I can't remember. I should know this. I almost feel like it's Bill Conti, but I don't think it is. But who is it?
John Williams.
Is it John Williams? I was thinking that it was John Williams or Conti. Just fantastic music leading up to every moment. Everything hits beautiful, and I cry at that one at the end between him seeing his mom and
these are the top 7 movies that Tim cries at during Christmas. Is that what we're doing? Okay.
If you don't cry, it's not a Christmas movie. It's not a good Christmas movie. I'll say that. And I cried. I can cry at each of these so far. Even Miracle on 34th Street. I wouldn't cry at that one, but it's close. Anyway, Home Alone, I don't need to say more about Home Alone. It's great, but you hit all the moments. But the moment, if it didn't have that clenching moment with him and his mom at the end, beautifully shot, beautiful music. It's just so perfect. And yes, I cry. Then
so did you say that this is a movie that you feel you could get away with not watching during Christmas, or you mean you can watch it outside of Christmas?
It borderlines me being able to watch it outside of Christmas. I don't feel guilty, but I'm just saying that if I only had like enough time to watch like 1 or 2 movies before Christmas, and I knew I would only get a couple in, it wouldn't have to be Home Alone. I could pick one of these other ones and feel like I need to watch these this year. That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
So number 3, with that in mind, with these 3 movies I have to watch for Christmas, White Christmas. Now, a lot of people, this new generation may watch White Christmas and think it's really boring. The humor is dry. The music isn't all upbeat and fast. Well, some of it is, but it's not. It's kind of dated. It's classical music, classical acting, classical sets, classical stories. But the characters, the relationships, the music, the story about the general, the military aspect of it, all the troops coming back for the final the final scene to pay tribute to their general. Everything just ties together for a really beautiful spirit of Christmas. And I think the music and some of the scenes are some of the most iconic up there with 34th Street and others that you have to watch it. And if I only had 1 or 2 days for Christmas, it would have to be, I'd have to throw that in before any of these other ones. And I'm not a big Bing Crosby music fan, but I love his character in this movie. I love all the characters. Anyway, that's number 3. Number 2, this one took me a lot of deliberation trying to figure this out, but number 2 is The Muppet Christmas Carol. Between 2 and 1.
2 Muppet movies? Out of all the Christmas movies you could have had, you have 2 Muppet movies? I mean, that's just, that's...
Okay. Here's the thing.
Christmas Carol.
It's fantastic. And the Muppet Christmas Carol, what it has over almost any other Christmas movie is the music. I think the music in this movie, and I would say the VHS version that they kept the song with him and his girlfriend when he went to the past, what is that song? I can't remember it now, but it's so, I cry. I have to cry at a Christmas movie.
What? You cry?
Yeah. I cry at that scene where she's singing and saying goodbye. It was almost love. That's what it is. What's that?
I fast forward that song every time.
Oh my gosh, I love that song when she's singing and saying
Why
goodbye
do
on the
you
bridge.
wait, Ashley? Why do you fast forward it? Do you not like it, or because you don't want to cry like Tim?
Because it's so schmaltzy. I just can't do it.
Schmaltzy? Is that what you said? What is? I've never heard that. What does schmaltzy mean?
It's that song. It's like, but yeah, like there's just certain songs that are just schmaltzy, and you're just like, I
You know,
don't
a
know.
lot of people complain about that song, and I don't understand why. That's one of my favorite songs in the thing. And it plays during the credits. They left the song in during the credits, but they took out that scene, and it's really awkward. It cuts from where she's saying goodbye and cuts to Gonzo crying, but like they cut out the whole song, which was the whole point of that scene. And so it's like you missed the whole beat. And that's a very emotional. I used to loop that song and sing it because I loved it. But anyway, the whole turn of Scrooge by the end of it, and when he comes out and he starts singing the song with everyone in the streets trying to get to Cratchit's house, just beautiful. I love the spirit, and Kane did such a great job.
Michael Caine is awesome in everything.
So good. Well, yeah, but he's so convincing as a converted man. He believes in everything. The spirits were done really well. When he comes out singing, sorry, when I'm on the spot, I can't remember the name of the song. I can sing it for you, but when he's singing that song, the Ghost of Christmas Present, holy cow. That performance and that transition from Scrooge during that song where he starts all like, I don't really care, to he's getting into it and trying to dance and everything. So well done. One of the scariest Ghosts of Christmas Future ever, but the music and the heart and the story, I think really captures everything from A Christmas Carol. Hands down. And that ranked way higher than the other one. Just because of the music. That's the only reason this one's better than Muppet Family Christmas. And my number one, you can't not watch this on Christmas.
Wait.
Oh,
did you not say that we were going to be doing honorable mentions before number one?
My runners-ups were Die Hard and Babes in Toyland, really.
Okay, that was it?
I think so. I mean, there's some other good ones, but most of the ones I really care about. Elf, I was saying like Elf. I hate Elf. Like I love Elf. I hate like the. Hang on, I love Elf, but the third act really falls apart. I don't think the whole thing that they throw in the stuff with in Central Park with the Rangers, all that stuff doesn't work.
It works great. What are you talking about? It doesn't work.
If you have it on your list, we can talk about it. But they throw in like all the end. Oh no, not the Rangers. There was no setup for these Rangers. They have this weird thing where they're trying. He's like, oh, I put them on the naughty list. Like that's stupid. Like the story is fine up to that about the family, and then goes into this really weird forced obstacle and drama for Santa Claus, and this just to have a little tension for them to fly off with the book and everything. It's just I didn't like it. And then that song, they sing the song, and then it kicks off the Christmas spirit meter in the sleigh. It's just like it was just a weak, not very well structured ending. What?
Spoiler alert! Jeez.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen Elf by now, they don't care about it. And what was he? Oh, and Ernest Saves Christmas. Phenomenal Christmas movie, and I cry at the end of that one too, you jerks.
You so cried at an Ernest movie?
Dude, at the end where she comes back with the bag, spoiler alert, and they have that moment where she confesses of her sins to Santa Claus, and he forgives her even though it doesn't change anything, but he's like, it doesn't matter. It saved her, it helped her, that part when she's like crying and she says she's sorry and everything. Oh, I love it. Anyway.
All right, what's your number one before you say something else that makes me mad? Go ahead.
Okay. All right. My last one is The Bishop's Wife. The original, not the stupid Denzel Washington one.
I don't think I've seen it.
Denzel Washington one's good, and it's The Preacher's Wife.
The Preacher's Wife. The Bishop's Wife is one of the most, the angel, I was thinking Gabriel, the angel that's played by Cary Grant, I think is one of the most magnetizing, charismatic characters ever. Like whenever he enters the scene, you just feel, just watching this fictional story, you feel uplifted. He's just so pleasant. He's just complimenting people on their hat and all the weather. He's just so cheery and happy. And you're just like, I want to be like that guy. And that's how sometimes you felt like as a missionary walking around, just like people just being a good example, just being a happy, a good beaming person, just walk around like doing good. I was like, if I could be a 3 Nephi, I would just want to walk around the streets during Christmas time and just do stuff like that. And just walk around just like saving a baby carriage and helping an old man across the street, stopping traffic and stuff like that. That's what I would want to do. He's an angelic version of Superman. He is so great. And then all the story with everything comes. It's just perfect. It's beautiful. You have the religious aspect. Best scene in the movie is when the kids are coming for their choir practice, but no one shows up. And so he has the one little boy start singing a solo, and they start summoning him with his like magic angel powers, and they all come in together and sing this song is just beautiful. Oh, it's so good. But the thing it has over the preacher's wife, I just got to get this out. The preacher's wife has just a little element of coveting that he has towards the bishop's wife. And there's like one or two scenes that with Cary Grant, you never felt like he actually, or like, you know, it was like a lustful or an emotional thing that he had for the bishop's wife. He admired the bishop. He, well, you could say jealous in a way, but he never like seemed like he was on the verge of using his power to influence anything. With the preacher's wife, you definitely had that vibe that he was into her, and I don't like that. That is not angelic. That is not appropriate. But the bishop's wife is number one. If I haven't watched any other Christmas movies, I only had to pick one on Christmas Eve. That would be the one to watch. That's my list. That's the final list. So we can just wrap the video now because you guys are going to have to say the exact same movies or you'll be wrong.
Well, I've never even heard of the bishop's wife, so
Shut up.
I'm serious. I've never even heard of it.
You've never heard of the bishop's wife? Oh, can I just say that one that's not on my list?
Is it an older movie, like in the 60s
Yeah.
and 70s? Oh,
Cary
okay.
Grant, yeah.
So it's
50s, 60s?
No, it's the 40s.
Is it earlier than that? Wow.
It's the same era as like Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
They say.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just want to say I do not have It's a Wonderful Life on my list because I don't like that movie. I watched it for the first time like 5 years ago, and I'm sorry, I didn't get good feelings from it. I didn't get good vibes from it. And I know the famous scenes everyone loves about the all that stupid crap. The Muppets did a better version of that movie, but I don't like it. It's not on my list. It was not one I forgot. Just had to say that. Go ahead.
So it's like it's a good movie. It's just so sad. I can't watch it.
It doesn't redeem. It's not happy or it's not sad, and then it's like it makes up for it at the end. I didn't feel like anything was better at the end. I didn't feel good watching the movie.
But the thing is, like this is not on my list at all. But I am because like I see the point of why people. It's because it's not about anything materialistic. It's like, you know, he literally lost everything. He came to like have this appreciation for what really mattered. And those people stood up for him because he'd been such a good human being, like his whole life. You know what I mean? So like they came back for him. So it's like
it's also great to see like at a time when he's feeling so bad, he gets a chance to see what his life truly would have been like if he wasn't around, and he got to see how many people actually. Because I think that's right in all of us, right? Like all of us, we all make our mark on people's lives, and sometimes, especially when you're in your darkest moments, it's hard to see that. And so when you think about, he's one of those people who he was the person who got an opportunity to see how many people he truly affected. And most people don't get to see that. I mean, you only hear about that at a funeral. You know what I mean? Like, and so the fact that he got to hear that beforehand and got a new lease on life, I think it's a good movie. But
so it's a good Christmas movie to give you the spirit that you would get at a funeral. Good point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's no Muppet movie or anything,
but didn't the Christmas Carol essentially do the same thing where he went to the future and saw the impact he had of a negative way, and so he learned to correct and live going forward?
Yeah. That's
only don't feel like killing yourself by the end of it.
Yeah, that's different though. I mean, that's an opportunity that's to see the future isn't set, and just because you're going down, you can always go back on your path. Like you don't always have to go down that path. There's always a way back. Whereas this is more
seeing his path, you can see the negative influences that he was on himself. Same kind of. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I never felt good watching it. I don't feel it was iconic, and I think it's a very merry Muppet Christmas. I think that's the Muppet version of it. That one's fun. Watch that one. Whoopi Goldberg plays God. It's fantastic.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Okay,
So,
you ready?
About your list that I know is at least one part wrong. Go ahead.
My list is amazing, and it's the best one out of both of yours. Okay.
Probably because mine's not even finished yet. So.
Okay, so my number 7, and I want no argument about this. because I know where you both live and I will fight. So number 7 is twofold. So I have the Grinch and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And they're both the number 7 because it's like the same thing, but they're different.
Okay. Okay, I gotta say, all right, and I'm previewing a little bit because I struggled because I didn't think I could do that. So if I
that's why I told you to not say anything, because I did not want the risk of someone saying that we can't do it, because I was like, I'm doing this.
Okay, that was part of my biggest struggle on this list was which Grinch, not the new DreamWorks one, not the new.
Now we have 13 to choose from. Good.
No, so the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which is the original, you know, it's like 15 minutes. That one, and then right there next to it, Little Buddy is the Grinch, the one with Benedict Cumberbatch as the voice by the people who did Minions.
You mean the DreamWorks one?
Is it DreamWorks? I thought it was the same people who did Minions.
The one,
like
well, you're not talking about the Jim Carrey version. You're talking about that new one.
You think that one's better than the Jim Carrey one?
I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. I was so I watched it and I was like, because I was so I love Jim Carrey, but I hated what they did to it. They made all the Who's materialistic, and it all of them. And the thing is in the original, none of them were. It appeared that they were, but they never were. They were never materialistic in the original. They went out there and they sang their song and everything else. But in the Jim Carrey version,
they all lost the spirit of Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, Cindy Lou had to freaking talk them into it and snap them back where what actually was important. And it's it took convincing, and they were all mad, and it was this big thing. And it's no, that's not what it was. The whole town was wonderful, and that's no. So
I feel like you are starting to sound like Tim when he calls me a Daniel apologist. Because the Jim Carrey version, I feel, is very similar to the Cobra Kai thing in that it's more from the Grinch's perspective than the original, right? The original is telling a narrative of the story, whereas I think the Grinch with Jim Carrey is more about specifically the Grinch from his perspective.
I see what Ashley is saying, and I agree. When they all come out and have their kumbaya moment in the cartoon, it's it's a universal, this whole town doesn't care about the presents. It's just they care about being together in the spirit of Christmas. You do lose that, but the Cindy Lou character is elevated, so you kind of have a trade-off where in the Jim Carrey one, she's the one that rallies the whole town and reminds them of the spirit of Christmas, and then it's just the crowning event where he comes in.
How do we know that?
I can see both aspects.
How do we not know that didn't happen off air in the cartoon? It could have.
Because they all could. Oh, that's weak.
First of all, because Dr. Seuss's wife was actually upset, and then they did the Cat in the Hat, and she got even more ticked off, and she said, "You're done. You're not doing it."
Who wouldn't be upset about that?
I hated the Cat in the Hat.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's she got up. She wasn't happy because that's not how he wanted it to be.
I get.
So if the man,
so that's number 7.
Okay, so yeah, 2, both the Grinch and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
7 and 7.5. Okay.
Okay, and then number 6, The Holiday.
Okay, wait, which one is The Holiday? So is The Holiday?
Jack Black, Kate Winslet, and Steve Blum.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Do you really watch that every Christmas?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it because the Jack Black and Kate Winslet character, there's that scene in the very end. Are we not supposed to give spoilers? So there's a scene in the very end where they both uplift this friend of theirs, and it's just this really sweet moment, and they have the best little moment, and it's just really cute. I don't want to give spoilers. It's really good. You need to. Yeah. It's
that's not a traditional one that everybody has seen, so I see why you I bet there's a lot of people who haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it.
It's a good movie. It didn't make my top 7. I don't watch it every year, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, I will watch that. Yeah, I'll watch all of these on regular basis. Okay,
All right.
my number 5 is Elf because it's so happy.
Yes.
It is. And the elf is a great character. And you have
Elf
some of the
Yeah.
funniest moments the first 2/3 of the movie.
The whole movie is good, Tim.
It's fantastic. And even the Rangers.
Yes, and that makes perfect sense.
Those
Because-
non-characters.
They have like the score music behind them is always like, stormy, and it's like that they're bad guys. It's like the best.
I love when the kid like grabs the book and he tells
The reporter.
he tells the reporter about his like what's
He's like, what is your name?
to stop messing around and commit already. And then all of a sudden
Who told you to say that?
It's so sweet.
It's cute.
Yeah. And then my 3 and 4 are kind of interchangeable.
Wait.
So-
Can I just say my favorite moment of that movie is
What?
where
You don't even like it.
I
What
like the
movie?
I never said I didn't like it. I said the plot falls apart in the end.
You're not allowed to tell us what you like about movies that
My
are on.
favorite shut up. My favorite part is when they're on the date and I can't remember what he does, but she's like, you missed. And he's like, what? You missed. And then she kisses him. So cute. I love that. That's one of my other favorite on-screen kisses. But
Okay,
Oh,
that's my favorite moment.
So every time I watch it, I crave spaghetti. Every time.
I'm like repulsed by spaghetti after that movie.
No, I do. Every time I'm just like, I really want spaghetti. And then I always make it, and I'm always thinking, do I just add the maple syrup? No, we're not doing that. And
I
This
just
character is up there with Cary Grant. Like if I could be someone walking around just that full of joy and just running around just so optimistic. When he walks in and sees that they had the world's best cup of coffee, he's so excited. It's kind of like Dumb and Dumber when he goes in and sees the things and they landed on the moon. He's like, oh, wow, he did it.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
It's so good. And like Will Ferrell was like the only person who could have played that role. Like,
Absolutely.
that was definitely written for him. That was perfect. So good.
Okay.
I
Okay,
also,
so-
by the way, I also have to say I love Bob Newhart as the dad too. He was so good. Yeah.
so
It was perfect.
He's dressed in the Jack in the Boxes.
what?
He's just so scared.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. We're gonna say and quote the elf all night, but it's not on my list. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, so my 3 and 4 are interchangeable. It's like this. So my 3 and 4 is One Magic Christmas and Miracle on 34th Street, the original, because the remake is awful. Yeah.
As the
And-
remakes usually are. Karate Kid. Anyway.
Anyway,
And then my number 2 is The Man Who Invented Christmas.
That's
yeah,
a
I've
recent
never
one,
seen that.
isn't
I've been told to
If
see
you
it.
haven't seen it, it's so good.
it?
That's the newer one about
It's with Dan
Okay.
Stevens, who plays Charles Dickens, and it's about how he came
Oh.
about writing A Christmas Carol and the struggle that he went through in order to get it published.
You're the very
And-
docudrama type of person.
It's not a docudrama. It's
I
like
know, but like you like watching these things about like how things are made.
real
Like
people.
Handel Messiah, Beethoven from the 90s. Now you're
The
talking
Karate
about-
Kid.
the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai.
Let's not bring that up here. This is a happy place. So, but yeah, no, The Man Who Invented Christmas is phenomenal because
Well, that's-
it's
That's your
so good.
number 2? That's your
That's my
number
number 2.
Oh man. Oh, I am. Does that mean what I think it means about your number 1? I'm gonna lose my mind.
Hit him, Ashley. Do it. Do it.
So this is my honorable mention time, right? Do I get to take this
Yeah.
opportunity?
Ugh.
Just like dragging this out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh is getting the letter opener ready.
Ugh.
I'm so much cooler than both of you guys. Okay, anyway, so my honorable mention. So the Nutcracker Prince with Kiefer Sutherland and Megan Fellows.
Hmm.
It's the best version of the Nutcracker, and it's like impossible to find. It's seriously
Kiefer
so.
Sutherland?
Yeah, he's the
Jack
voice of
Bauer?
the Nutcracker, and Megan Fellows is the voice of Kara, right, Kara?
Hmm.
And it's the best version of the Nutcracker ever, like in movie form, you know, like the ballet
The
and everything.
Muppets haven't done that one yet, so there you go.
Wait, what?
Because the Muppets haven't done it yet, so so you're good. Then they'll make the best version.
I don't know. Yeah. And then another one is, of course, Charlie Brown Christmas.
That's good.
Yeah, really good. And then Garfield Christmas has to be on there.
Garfield's Christmas.
That's good. That one makes me cry.
I love Garfield.
You know what's cool actually is Charles Schultz, who wrote the all the Peanuts characters, was from Indiana, if I remember correctly. And Jim Davis, who made Garfield, am I right? Am I right, Josh? Do you not remember that? I swear he was. And Jim Davis was from Muncie, Indiana, which was my first area on my mission. And they have the Cat Paws building, which is the official headquarters for Garfield. I got to see that building. It's a beautiful building. It was designed by the state president in my first ward on my mission. It's really cool. And our ward mission there used to have coffee with Jim Davis every week before he joined the church. My mission there. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good movie. That's a really good movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Where Odie's making his present. So cute.
Okay, so I'm only mentioning honorable mentions that haven't been mentioned at all so far. Because like obviously I have Home Alone on there and things like that, but you already mentioned that. So we're done with that. Okay, and then Polar Express, that's on there because wonderful. And then
You know, I gotta say though, the Polar Express, I feel it's a little overrated. I mean, it's good, but like people really love it. Like there's like this whole thing. Like I had to take my kids on this stupid train with hot chocolate.
oh no, I don't want to do any of that.
Like, it's like not even that great. It's just like, oh look, the cartoon looks like Tom Hanks. Like, you know, I mean, I don't
My
know.
wife loved it. I never saw
I
it.
loved when I was a kid. I loved the book, like the illustration book. So I was really excited about the movie, and I just was kind of like, I mean, my kids watch it every single year, and I watch. I
loved it.
Anyway,
like I love the whole, like, you know, I love the whole thing, like how you can still believe. It's all about just believing. Like
I love the premise. I love the book. It's just the movie. I was just kind of like, meh.
All of my movies are about believing. Go ahead.
Okay. And then another honorable mention is Christmas Chronicles that came out last year with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. And like number 2 comes out on the 25th, and I'm so excited.
25th of November or December, like on Christmas Day.
No, it comes out November 25th. The second one.
Why would they put out a Christmas movie the day after Christmas?
No, the 25th is the day. I thought you said
why would they put it out on Christmas? Anyway,
Wonder Woman 84 is coming out on Christmas.
What?
Wonder Woman 84 is coming out on Christmas. Movies come out on Christmas all the time.
All
Star Wars come out on Christmas.
But not a Christmas movie. Anyway, go ahead, Ashley.
Okay.
I never saw the first one. I heard it was really funny, but I never watched it. I did watch that crappy Noel movie.
It was really cute. And then Rise of the Guardians is awesome.
Okay.
And same thing.
Neither one of you mentioned Nightmare Before Christmas.
I hate that movie. I hate
I like it, and it is a Christmas movie more than a Halloween movie, but it's not a good heartfelt Christmas movie with a Christmas spirit. It's a different kind of a heartfelt movie.
So I like it. It's not that I hate it. I don't understand why everybody is so into it. It's kind of weird to me.
Anyway, I really like it. We can talk about that sometime.
They treat Santa horribly, and they can't. Anyway, okay, so and then and then my last honorable mention.
Another honorable mention. Okay.
My last one is Die Hard because it is a Christmas movie.
It's not even on your list. I thought it was number 1.
I had to mess with you because it was too funny. You were getting so angry about it.
You get the
it doesn't even deserve an honorable mention. It doesn't even deserve an honorable mention. It's not a Christmas movie. It's just not. Bruce Willis said it's not a Christmas movie. Bruce Willis
doesn't know anything about his own movies.
What?
So Bruce Willis doesn't know anything about his old movies, I promise. But we can debate this a whole nother time.
Okay, I'm just gonna say one thing, which is the Badoop moment. Like, there's no way you can get about this. The reason is because Christmas, you could put that movie on any other day and it would still be the same movie and still be good. You can't, like, a lot of these Christmas movies, the Christmas has to be integral to the story. And yes, it's part of the story, but it's not integral to it. It's not something that has to happen on Christmas. They just put it around Christmas. They could put it around 4th of July. They could put it around the company picnic, and it would still be the same movie. Ugh.
I would argue that with a lot of other things on these lists, but go ahead.
You're wrong.
And it ends with the best version of Let It Snow during the credits. It's a Christmas movie.
But that's not a Christmas song, and I argue that with people. But let's not get into that.
All right,
it's about the winter. It's not about Christmas at all.
Let's hear what
Just like these are a few of my favorite things. Not a Christmas song. Go ahead.
No, that's not a Christmas song. I will give you that. Let It Snow is a Christmas song.
So what's your number one now that I know it's not that abomination? Go ahead.
Not an abomination. It's a Christmas movie. Okay, so number one is Family Stone.
Really?
Family Stone. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It's a really good movie. It's my favorite. And I, like, the first time I saw it was because my friend Brandon was actually telling me about it. And I was like, that sounds really good. He didn't even mention it was like about a Christmas movie. He's like, here, I'll lend it to you. So I borrowed it, took it home, watched it, and it was like Christmas music, and it was July. And I was like, what? And I'm like, Christmas movie. But I was like, I loved it. And I watched it like 5 times in like a period of like a weekend. I just loved it. And I watch it. I will watch that one multiple times Christmas season. Like
it's
once
actually,
a week.
it's a really good movie. Yeah. I mean, I don't, but again, like, it's just for some reason I remember I've watched it a couple times, and I just don't, I know it's around Christmas, but when I think of Christmas, I don't think of that movie. But it's a really good movie. So.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Never saw
really good. Yep. Tim, you haven't seen lots of mine.
I know. But you haven't seen Muppet Family Christmas.
I'm very surprised that our lists are so different. Like all 3 of us. So,
really?
Yeah. I mean, we've got a couple in common, but like I think each one of you might have one in common. Well, 2 like in common with me total. Yeah, it's interesting.
What number is Christmas Vacation on your list?
Oh, we'll get to it. Don't worry. Okay. All right. So it's on there. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. All right. So I had like 3 or 4 movies I wanted to put in number 7 because they're all kind of the same, but I'm gonna go with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation version.
Yeah.
I love that movie when I was a kid. You know, I kind of put that in the same one as like Frosty the Snowman and like Charlie Brown Christmas, like those movies that aren't like full-length movies, but you like watching like an all Christmas. And I just think my list, like there was a couple of rules that I put on my list, and one was it has to be something that like Tim said, I have to watch at Christmas or else I don't feel like I'm complete, right? And like that is one of them. Charlie Brown Christmas is one too. Frosty the Snowman, not so much for some reason, but Rudolph is definitely
dated, and they're not really as good as we remember them. And I'm not crapping on your list. I'm just saying, I think because I thought about some of those too, and I think it's like 95% nostalgia and 5% that we actually enjoy watching those. I can't even sit. I don't remember the last time I watched Rudolph because
I watch it every year. I have like a pack. It comes with Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman, and a couple other ones, and I.
Does yours also have the Year Without Santa Claus?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's like a red package. Yeah. But the thing is I don't put on like Frosty the Snowman. I don't watch every year, or that one I don't watch every year. But I do watch the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer every year. I don't know. I really like that one. So my number 6 is It's a Wonderful Life. And see, here's the thing. I watch that every single year out of obligation because I feel like I got to watch one of those like old timey movies for it to truly be Christmas. Like Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, White Christmas. Those are all on the same one. And out of all of them that I feel I have to watch at least one every year. And It's a Wonderful Life is usually the one that I end up watching. So
interesting.
Yeah, I really like that.
I don't understand why it's so popular. I really don't. When I finally watched it, I was like expecting this most amazing Christmas movie, and I thought like lights were going to come out from heaven, and I would hear like these hallelujah choirs in the background of my life. I feel so elevated. I was like, I just want to kill myself after that movie. And it wasn't just because of the premise and the ending. I was just like, it wasn't a good. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it at all.
I feel way different about it. I felt uplifted after the movie, but anyway.
Yeah.
So
I just cry every time that he gets beat and his ear starts bleeding, and I can't do it. Like when he's a kid, like it kills me every time. And so, but it's a good one, Tim.
Okay.
I don't see it. I don't see it's fine. I understand like as a film, I understand why people like it, but I'm like, it's not one that I would be like, I can't wait to watch this at Christmas time. It's depressing. Okay, go ahead.
All right, my number 5 is the Grinch. The Grinch.
Jim Carrey.
No, well, okay.
The Grinch. That's the new one.
No, the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I just don't know. Like, if I could do 2, it would be the original and the Jim Carrey version. I think if I'm gonna choose one, just because I've been watching it since I was a kid, I'd have to say the original, just because it's the original, right? But
because you're in and out, like Ashley said. It's you don't need to spend 2 hours on that story. You really don't. There's so much of that stuff that could have been cut out. It could have been a 50-minute movie.
I watch the Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch every year, and I love it. It makes me laugh, but makes
you laugh. But I don't think the heartfelt part is any stronger in that 2-hour movie than it is in the 15-minute version.
No, I just like it for different reasons. But
yeah.
Anyhow, so my top 4 are like set in stone for sure. Number 4 is Elf. I love Elf. I went to the theater and saw it and loved it, and I've loved it ever since. It's just a fantastic movie. I don't know what you're talking about, this whole third act business not being as great. I think it's fantastic. It was super great. And I love in the end when he goes back to the North Pole with his family and he's like sitting in his elf dad's lap and stuff like that. And just
that size proportion stuff, that size perspective stuff was like really cool. Like throughout in the beginning part and at the very end, it was really neat when he interacts with the elves and stuff. I really liked that stuff. It was really funny.
Yeah,
I don't hate the ending. It's just that the climax of it was like, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so I have this idea of what your top 3 are, and I want to see if I'm right. I'm not going to say what they are.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, you know who my favorite character, one of my favorite characters is in Elf, is the manager of the department store.
The black guy?
He's so intense. Oh, everything's like, look at this place.
Don't say it in the North Pole. Yes, there is. No, there isn't.
Yeah. A little too good.
And you can't forget, what's his name? Peter Dinklage playing the elf. Is that Peter Dinklage?
Yeah.
That dwarf that comes in? That's him, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's
phenomenal scene. I love that scene.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So funny. Anyway, okay. So my number 3. Oh, here's another rule I had. I couldn't put like sequels of the same movie in. So
otherwise, Die Hard 2 and then Die Hard would be number 1, right?
Thank you so much. No, so I chose Home Alone, although I think Home Alone 2 is just as good as the first one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think Home Alone 2, I was talking about this the other day. Home Alone 1 has more heart, but Home Alone 2 makes me laugh more.
Oh, definitely.
I think the hits, the bricks is the funniest gag they do is the brick scene. But like even the jokes with Tim Curry and like a lot of the scenes that they do, the second one I think is way funnier, and it's a good sequel. That's a believable story in that premise. Go ahead, Ashley. Sorry.
It is. What do you mean that it doesn't have as much heart?
I think the moment when the mom comes home is the most emotional and well set up point of the story. You have the conversation with her and John Candy earlier, all the stuff with her at the airports. I think all that stuff is paid off a lot stronger than just her finding him at the tree. I mean, it's funny. I'm not saying it's bad. I just think that it's way stronger where he had that moment.
I also think that the bond he had with the guy who he thought was the murderer was way better than he did with the homeless woman.
And the scene where he was afraid of him, the scene where he was like, "Mom, where are you?" and he was watching the burglars, and you started feeling like scared. You really felt that. you never felt like he was scared in the second one. You never felt like it was just the gags of the parents coming home and everything. It was just more jokey than the scenes with like him, like his mom looking out at the star saying, "I miss you, Kev," or whatever. You know, when they had there's a lot more of those moments that built up for their meeting in the living room than there was with her finding him at Rockefeller Center or whatever.
Yeah,
But the
Still
Toy
good.
Man was just like the most tender
what's that?
thing.
What's that? What part were you saying?
The toy store owner.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Yeah, that's good. It was really good.
But okay, really quick before we move on, did you guys ever get the little like gadget that he had? I can't remember what it was
the
called.
Talk
The
Boy.
Talk
I
Boy.
wanted the Talk Boy so bad. I never got it.
I never got it either. It's like
I sold those at Kmart when that movie came out in like whatever it was. Yeah, we had a Talk Boy or whatever. And they had a girl one too. I wanted one just to have it.
I was like, there it is, and I never got it. It was
Oh
very
yeah,
sad.
that Talk Boy was so fun.
Can I
Yeah.
just say also, I didn't like the bird lady thing. I didn't. It was just weird.
You didn't like her?
There's some. I don't know.
Hmm.
I like the story with the neighbor in the first one better. I don't know.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he was much better, but
But she was fine.
but okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, and my top two are like way above the rest. Okay, for
Okay.
me. Number 2 is A Christmas Story. I love A Christmas Story. It is
Good.
so good. I love it so much.
Is it good or is
I
it funny?
So burnt out on that movie.
I don't care. I can watch it. I love that there's that. I don't know what channel it is, but I love that on Christmas Day, you can literally turn it on anytime and it was on all day. I love that movie so much. I just, it's so great. Everything about it. Ugh,
It's fine. I think that's my same promise as Christmas Vacation. They're so overplayed in my mind, and they're just I've seen those jokes so many times that I can't laugh at it. I feel the same way about Spaceballs. I cannot laugh at Spaceballs anymore unless I'm having a conversation reflecting on the jokes instead of watching the movie. They're just so burnt out to me. And I don't think Christmas Story is it's a story about, well, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say it doesn't have a lot of the heart and stuff, but I think the stuff with the parents getting him the gun is a lot more relevant than kids understand. I think that's more meaningful for parents, but especially the dad where he's all excited watching him load the BB gun and everything in the end. The story with him getting the BB gun, that's just the plot thread to get to the end. But the gags are funny, but it's all nostalgia. But that moment with the dad, I think, and the bullying with the mom. Sorry, I took over your spotlight there, Josh. But when he comes home and after he beat up the bully and he's like crying, his mom takes him home and calms him down and has Ralphie sit there with the blanket and the towel in his face, and he thought he was gonna his dad was gonna kill him.
Yeah, no, I think that
really good parenting moments, really powerful.
Yeah, I loved it. I think that movie is, yeah, like I said, it's my top 2, and my top 2 are kind of interchangeable, although my number 1 is definitely a number 1. So you were gonna say something, Ashley, about Christmas Story?
No, I was just the only reason I got burnt out on that movie is my middle school only had 2 movies that they would put on every single TV day, and that was one of them. So it didn't matter what time of year it was. Christmas Story, and I was like, and it was all the time, and I was like, you've got to be kidding. That one and like the Wallace and Gromit Pants one, it was those 2. They played both of them nonstop, and I was just like, I can't ever do this again.
So it's funny because my kids, when we have because during Christmas we watch. I think we have movie nights like every single night for like 2 weeks because it's just there are so many Christmas movies that you want to watch. And so, but yeah, when I do that, they're all like, "Oh, really?" But I'm like, "I don't care. It's fantastic, and you're all gonna sit here and watch it because I'm the dad, and that's what you do." So, yeah, I love it. So, okay, before we get to my number 1 honorable mentions, I have so many honorable mentions. Oh my gosh!
Let's be quick.
So, a movie that you took forever. I take as long as I want. Okay, you take forever talking about your stuff, and then you go on my list. Then you go, "Oh, let me tell you all the things I love about Christmas Story." Shut up. Okay. So a movie that has almost made my list was
the other part about Home Alone 2 that I like.
I hate you so much. The Santa Claus. I love the Santa Claus. Yes, the Santa Claus is so good, and I don't think it gets enough play. Another one that I really like too.
I can say I just watched that in the theater yesterday or 2 days ago. It was really held up, except for the flying sleigh did not hold up, but it's really good on the big screen. There's a lot of things I noticed I never saw before. Go ahead.
The another one that I feel is kind of underrated is Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Yes. I forgot that one too. I have that one actually. I like that one.
Yeah, I actually picked up a steelbook version of that last year.
No,
I did.
you're such a lame collector.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So one of those like cartoon ones that I really, really like, and I almost put it on my list but didn't, was Mickey's Christmas Carol.
That's a good one.
Good. That is
It's really good. And I believe that is the introduction for Scrooge McDuck because he was Ebenezer Scrooge.
I think it might be. I'm not sure because I think he was in something.
That's the first time I remember ever seeing him. So so that's a good one too. And then I should go with the whole Saints on Cinema thing. I like Mr. Cougar's Christmas. That's a good one, a good one. And I could have gone really lame and been like the Nativity, but I didn't. So okay.
Why is that lame? The Nativity is a good little short, but it's not a full.
It's a good short, but it's not. I don't think it's a.
I know it's not a.
You're good. Not a movie. Huh?
The actual movie, The Nativity. It's like a whole long movie.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the church one that we used to show.
The 3-minute video called Luke 2.
Yeah, we would show people on our missions and be like, "Hey, let us come back," and they'd be like, "Yeah, sure, because it's Christmas. We want to talk about Jesus." And then by New Year's, they're like, "Nah, don't come back." So
that's a fair assessment.
Anyway, okay, so my number one movie is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is the best Christmas movie. I don't care what any of you say. It's fantastic. I love it so much. Cousin Eddie steals the show. He's so good. Everything about it is just, I love it. I could watch that every day from Thanksgiving to Christmas and never get old. It would never get old. Ever. It's so good. I think about it for like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. I cannot wait till Thanksgiving so I can watch Christmas Vacation. Like, I am a purist. I will not do anything Thanksgiving or Christmas until Thanksgiving. And I am like waiting for like a week or two to Thanksgiving so I can put that movie in and watch it and be like, this is fantastic. Because that is Chevy Chase's best work.
Out of all the vacation movies, that's the best one. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, okay. The original Vacation is really good. And Vegas Vacation is very underrated. Did you ever see
Okay. I did. Yeah. I went and saw that one in my friends. It was
European Vacation. European Vacation is the only one where I'm like I can't really watch it. But
all right, so what is it you love? Is it just the jokes? What is it? What is you love? And I'm not challenging you. But what is it that you love that made it number one? Just because it's so rewatchable?
I think that the jokes are fantastic. They're so well timed. I also think that I kind of like those movies that are like, because I've had that feeling, right? The feeling where you're like, I want to have like the perfect family Christmas. And you can never do it. It can never, like, there's that scene when they're laying in bed and she's like, you just set expectations that no family gathering can ever attain. And he's like, when do I ever do that? And then she's like, parties, birthdays, anniversaries. And so he has this like vision in his head of having the biggest, like perfect family Christmas, and then everything goes wrong. And I just love how everything, and putting up all the Christmas lights and it not working. Like, I love that. I love his crappy neighbors. Like his neighbors.
Julia Dreyfus. What's her name?
Elaine Dreyfus. Yeah. Or like going out, taking his family out to get his Christmas tree, and he finds a Christmas tree and he forgot the chainsaw, and so he has to dig it up. Stuff like that. It's so funny.
Okay, what's the funniest moment of that movie? And there's only one answer.
The funniest moment of the whole movie. Oh, there's so many that I love.
What do you mean by there's only one answer? Like, are you saying
there's only one correct answer?
Or you feel there's only one answer.
Well, I only feel that it's the right answer because it's the right answer. But what do you think is the best moment?
Oh, I don't even know what my favorite moment of that movie is. Because I mean, like I love the whole opening scene where like he's like driving down, you know, with the other truck. Hey kids, look, a deer. You know, the whole thing.
My favorite part of the tree gag is where they don't show it. They like, Dad, we forgot the sign. He's like, boom, and then it just cuts to the tree on top of the car.
Yeah,
Yeah. All the roots.
And I love
editing and stuff.
I love his whole, like that whole beginning interaction from the time outside to when they're inside the first time with him and and Eddie, because he first meets Eddie. And my favorite line of that whole show is when he goes, "Are you surprised, Clark?" And he's like, "If I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I would not be more surprised than I am right now."
What do you think, Ashley? What's your favorite moment
in that movie? I can't say it.
You can't say it? Why?
Because.
Oh, is it Merry Christmas? The blank is full. Is that?
Oh yeah, that one. I was like, sorry. For a second, I thought you were talking about like the quote from Die Hard, but I was like, wait, that's a different movie.
No.
Yeah, no. So I will say the only thing I actually get really angry on, and I refuse to laugh, and I get really like annoyed when people laugh at it, is the scene with the cat. Because I have to I will seriously just sit there like all pissed off at everyone's laughing, and like it's just kind of like
it's kind of funny, Ashley. Come on.
You
ever had a cat? They're curious and they bat at Christmas trees all the time. You couldn't keep ornaments on a tree if you have a cat.
I have cats and they leave the tree alone because they're good kitties.
Okay.
So there are so many good subtleties to that movie too. Like, for example, the first time that Eddie's inside the house and they're walking around the tree and they're talking, and he's got like this shirt on underneath his Christmas sweater, and you can see it in like. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. It's just.
What did he do to that little wooden sculpture thing that's down?
He takes the shoulder and just falls over. And then he's like, he talks about the RV. He's like, "Don't go fall in love with it now, because we're taking it with us when we leave here next month." He's like, "Wah."
Yeah. The best moment in that movie, is when he's trying to sneak the presents up into the attic. And when he opens the door, the ladder hits him in the face, and he goes down. The comedic timing, the way he hits that so naturally, is just absolutely flawless. And it's all like one shot of him. It's not like cut to him getting hit, like a fake hit. It like shows him coming up the hallway, looking aside, and then he goes down. And I'm sure it was fake wood and everything, but it's just so perfect. And that's the best.
That's the other thing, is he's going up there and he's hiding the presents in that spot, and then he finds a present from Mother's Day, like 1955. Yeah, that's man.
It's funny. It's good. It's just, it doesn't capture a lot of the full family. I mean, I understand it is relatable. Interestingly, that one's more relatable than a bunch of these other ones, which kind of says a lot about people. But it just, for me, it didn't really capture the holiday spirit. And I'm sorry, I can borderline almost watch that. That's kind of Home Alone territory. I could almost watch that outside of December, and I would feel fine with it. But yeah, it didn't hit my list.
That's my number one, because it's the best Christmas movie. So more Christmas than Die Hard, that's for sure.
Die Hard is Christmas.
We will talk about Die Hard another time. Absolutely. But that was our top 7 list. I just have one question for you guys. Who do you think's the best Santa Claus of all these movies?
Best Santa.
Honestly, I'm gonna say One Magic Christmas.
I would feel that too. I was thinking that. Miracle on 34th Street's a really strong one, but there's something really mystical, like something really, and like he feels ancient.
Yeah, he has the look, he has the feel,
his
like
voice.
like the accent. Like
He walks around slow and everything. Yeah, I think that's my favorite.
I'd have to say Miracle on 34th Street, but I've never seen this movie that you're talking about.
One Magic
Yeah. I think we should do a homework assignment. I think Josh should watch One Magic Christmas. I need to watch The Holiday. Is that what it was called?
No,
Yeah, The
Family
Holiday.
Stone. Family Stone. He needs to watch Family Stone.
And Man Who Invented Christmas.
Okay, well, let's just do one assignment. Which one should I watch this week?
I'd say Family Stone. That's a good one.
Okay, well,
That's your number one. You don't want him to watch your number one?
I was gonna say this is challenging your list.
fine. But the thing is, like, The Man Who Invented Christmas is so, like, just, it's so good, and people, like, don't know about it. Like, it's the one that has to be seen. Like, if you're looking for all the feels, like, it's a different type of feel. So
Ashley,
I guess
what is your homework assignment for me?
So the man who invented Christmas is Tim's assignment.
no, okay. Yeah, watch Family Stone. Just at some point, watch Man Who Invented Christmas.
I
She's
plan
gonna
on
get
it.
an extra
It was
assignment.
actually on my homework from someone last year. I was telling someone in my ward about One Magic Christmas. They'd never seen it before, and then they told me to watch One Magic that one, The Man Who Invented Christmas. So I plan on it.
Okay.
Okay. And what are you gonna watch, Ashley?
What's Ashley's one that I think she's seen everything on all of our lists.
She's
Yeah,
never seen Muppet Family Christmas, but I don't know where she'll find it.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I haven't seen that one.
I think you should watch A Christmas Story again since it's been so long since you've seen
It
it.
has been a really long time.
You need to get back into the swing of things because it is the classic Christmas movie.
I
Okay.
also have a hard time because it's all about materialistic stuff, and I'm not materialistic.
Okay, we'll watch it. Let's come back and talk about it next time. Okay. So Ashley's watching, what is it?
Christmas Story.
Christmas
Sorry, what?
Story. I'll watch the,
Christmas Story.
okay. I'll watch the one. Josh will text me and tell me what to watch. And Josh, you gotta watch One Magic Christmas. It's on Disney Plus.
So wait, you're watching Family Stone. Yeah.
Okay, Family Stone. Okay. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. If you have any, and there were some other things that were mentioned that was on our Facebook page. I think we talked about each of those. I can't think of any that were thrown in there that we didn't mention. But if you had any other suggestions that we didn't hit, or if you have any challenges on why Die Hard isn't on our list and should be number one, which we agree with, then put it in the comments below. And if you haven't already done so, if you watch this whole conversation, haven't liked and subscribed and all that fun stuff, like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And then there will be plenty more Saints on Cinema to come. But right now,
real quick, I want to know, how is it that they've watched this entire episode and not subscribed yet? Like, I don't get it.
Jim Carrey's
Subscribe.
going to come upon this and say, how come you bashed on my movie so much? And why did Ashley pick the other two Grinches over my movie? Jim Carrey will like and subscribe after seeing our arguments. There you go. Anyway, so happy Thanksgiving. These are some movies to think about as you go into the Christmas holidays. And we will be back soon with more Saints on Cinema goodness. Until then, have a good night and Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. And thanks for watching.